What's going on, guys? Geo here, and welcome back to the channel. This is the second video today. Earlier this morning, we posted a little recap of our stream that we took in the Nexus this morning and our Ethereum trade. I also posted a video a couple of videos ago, sometime last week, saying that Ethereum might be primed for its move to the upside, and I believe that that moment is now. Okay, I want to just start off by saying in the Nexus this morning, and to be honest, for the whole past week, I've been telling them, and they can attest. Listen, Nexus people, they can attest to it. I've been saying, guys, it's time to long Ethereum. It's time to long Ethereum. It's time to long Ethereum. I don't care about Bitcoin. Ethereum, 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 Ethereum. Okay. And I want to go over why I have been hounding the Nexus on this. This morning, like I said, we took the long on Ethereum. And then as the day progressed, you know, we had a little bit of chop. I've been updating them. You know, I update in the Nexus. I have a real-time channel here, as you can see on the left. And I give these updates on exactly what I want to see. They know exactly every step of the way that I take. And just to show you guys right now, this is my current Ethereum position. Okay, I'm in for 30. I'm in for 30 ETH down on this low, which is exactly what I drew out. Not on this low, on this low right here, which is exactly what I drew out for the Nexus. Now, full disclosure, okay? I actually initially went in 50 ETH. I had it in my mind that I was going to go like pedal to the metal on this one. I went in 50 ETH and my P&L at this around here was minus 1,500. I almost had a freaking heart attack. Okay, I almost had a panic attack. All risk management went out the door on that guy there. But anyways, so we had that. I ended up getting shaken out for 20 of my 50 ETH, which is why my P&L is minus $147. Anyways, I'm in the position now, and I think that ETH is ready to go. Now, before we begin, I just want to say that I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and if you decide to follow me, you know, I obviously can't be held responsible for that, but I want to build my case to you as to why I've been talking about Ethereum as much as I have been, and I want to go over why I think that ETH is potentially the play and no longer Bitcoin, at least for the short term, okay? Let's start with Bitcoin very quickly, and don't worry about the TA, but long story short on Bitcoin, if we come on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we had our big range, we came up to the all-time high, blah, 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 who cares? But more importantly, when Bitcoin came down and it swept and it came down to 89K, the entire market obviously followed it, okay? However, you can see, don't worry about all that, that's all my TA. I should have actually cleared this before we started, so my apologies. Let's clear it all, hide, okay? So you can see that Ethereum came down the same day that Bitcoin came down, except Ethereum hasn't rallied literally at all, right? Like if you put them side by side, I always say Bitcoin and Ethereum work in tandem, they work in tandem, right? So relative to Bitcoin, Ethereum, as you can see on the chart, is like still here, right? So ETH is still here. ETH hasn't done anything yet. Meanwhile, Bitcoin went up and away. And so we know that the market moves in tandem. We know that Ethereum has been lagging behind. And we know that ETH BTC has been getting absolutely hammered. Remember, I made a video last week talking about ETH BTC and talking about how this weekly level is a level to watch and how I was expecting some form of reaction off of this level. Okay, so what did we get since I made that video? Well, we did get our higher time frame structure flip that we wanted. We had low, we had high, we had lower low, and then we had higher high. Okay, so this structure right now that's drawn in yellow is already telling me that this weekly order block is going to hold, okay, or is more likely to hold. There's no such thing as 100% in trading. Of course, you have to play the probabilities, but probability wise, this here is telling me that this order block is going to hold. You should get some decent reaction out of it, which once again is something that I mentioned in one of my more recent previous videos, okay? So what happened since then? Well, your expectational order flow to start is going to be a continuation. So you're expecting higher low, higher high, and you're expecting that higher low to come, you know, you don't know where it's going to come, but you're expecting higher low, higher high. What ended up forming after we put in that low, we ended up getting a range, okay? We ended up, let me remove this here. We ended up getting a range. Oh, that didn't remove it. We ended up getting a range, and we ended up building liquidity on the downside of the range. Right over here, you can see the liquidity that you know, was forming. And whenever you're ranging like this, you always need to ask yourself where the liquidity is, because if you can't identify it, you're probably gonna be it, okay? And that's when I realized, like, okay, well, we got to follow this thing. when I was looking up my points of interest for Ethereum, I was looking at this order block down here. I understood that the liquidity was below. And like I said, I'm going to pull it up again because the proof is in the pudding, guys. Like, we're here putting in the work every single day in the Nexus. But that's why, I was updating ETH. Look at this. Like, I'm watching ETH BTC, drawn on stream. We talked about it on stream. Today's video earlier, go watch today's video. It was us entering an ETH trade, and my thought process throughout the whole thing. Like I said, I got shaken out for 20 Bitcoin or 20 ETH. Sorry, imagine 20 Bitcoin for 20 ETH. And, sometimes the emotions get you and it's hard to be objective, especially when, I've made it very clear that I'm trying to put on larger capital. I'm trying to put on bigger size. Anyway, so I was updating throughout the whole time with this ETH BTC. And because I know that my primary structure, which is in yellow here, is the expectational order flow is higher low to make a higher high. My job is to find the point of interest in a place that makes sense. Okay, it made sense to tap this order block, especially because we had the liquidity. And then we needed to follow your structure, okay? As I was following my structure, I was also watching Ethereum, like ETH USDT, to see what actually ends up happening here, okay? Because I knew that if ETH came down to a level that I was happy with, then it would be very likely at the same time that ETH BTC came down to this level. And if they hit the same level at the same time and they gave the confirmations at the same time, I knew I wanted to gig along ETH. So now let's bring back our TA. I'm not going to put the golden pockets on. I don't really use golden pockets these days anymore. Let's talk about what actually happened with Ethereum on the smaller term time frame and why I entered. First off, this morning, whoops, let me reload that, sorry. First of all, this morning, like I said, we took the trade live and I posted that video already. So if you haven't seen that video, go watch the previous video that I already uploaded today. And we ended up entering right around here, okay? Right around here. Now, in that video, when we were longing, we actually longed here. Sorry, my apologies. We longed here. We took profit here. We had a key zone here, and we also had this key zone here. In that video, you can hear me say, I say, guys, listen, if this is going to be an accumulation, it makes sense to not lose this low. And this was originally my stop loss on this long idea here. When we came down to this level down here, this is where I ended up taking my current ETH long that I just showed you on the screen. This is where I ended up taking it, okay? Because this is your extreme point. This is an order block with imbalance. This swept the liquidity. You already had the confirmation that this level in general was going to hold. It makes sense for this level to hold because here you had an accumulation and here you swept all these lows. So this is already an extreme point for Ethereum. We are in the discount section of the massive range. And as I indicated in the beginning of the video, Ethereum is very lagged behind Bitcoin. And we knew that ETH BTC was something that we were watching for. And we were looking for longs on ETH, which is why I've been saying ETH, 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 ETH. Everybody hates ETH, myself included. It sucks to trade. I don't hate ETH, but I hate trading it because it sucks to trade. But this ended up being the big winner. And then after you got this break of structure, just like how on ETH BTC in the yellow here, sorry for jumping back and forth, your expectational order flow is higher low to then make a higher high, and we nailed that perfectly. It's the same exact deal here on Ethereum. We had all this liquidity that we could come up towards. Whoops. We had all this liquidity, same as Bitcoin. We had all that liquidity above. And we knew that as soon as we got this higher time frames flip, let's come to like the 10-minute time frame. We'll keep it simple. You have high, you have low, you have lower high, lower low, and then you broke up. So as soon as you got that, your expectational order flow is higher, low, higher, high. We already identified in the last video that this looks like an accumulation. So it makes sense to not take that low, which means obviously it lines up with the whole overall structure picture. And then on a small time frame right here, you could have entered right here. Look at this right here. Boom, 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 and then up. Okay. That is your low time frame entry right there. You could have went in, stop loss below this low, and then, called it a day from there. And so that's how I got into my ETH trade. I'm going to chill in this one, guys. I'm going to chill in this one. Why? The caveat of learning how to scalp, as I do, will give you the benefit of being able to get into scalp trades that will turn into swing trades. And when you can get into scalp trades, you can generally put on higher position sizes because you're watching exactly what's happening in that moment. It's not like a swing trade where you need to have so much margin for error. Like you can go in heavy and have your scalp trades turn into swing trades. So I'm going to try to hold this up as high as I can. Now, of course, there is no, like I said, there's no 100% in trading. So I'm not going to pretend like there is, and I'm not going to pretend to say that I may not deviate from my plan and I may not take profit along the way. You know, by the time I upload this, I could have closed the entire position because I didn't like what I see. And of course, I will notify the Nexus of that should that decide to happen. But I think I'm going to try to hold this one, guys. I think I'm going to try to hold it just because I know that ETH BTC makes sense to hold here. This is a very extreme point on ETH BTC. I've made it very clear, and I made a video about how I don't expect this level to not give some form of reaction. So we really got some legs here on Ethereum, and you know, just understanding that it's lagged behind Bitcoin, that this could possibly be your third tap for your accumulation in this, what potentially is looking like an accumulation. You have all this liquidity above. And so, you know, I'm going to try to hold it up as high as I can. I do think that this one could be a runner. Of course, you have to monitor Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going to shit the bed, then of course, you know, some of these alts are probably going to shit the bed as well. But I still think that when it becomes time to long Bitcoin, you're for the next little while at the very least, you're better off longing ETH. And I did make a X post about that. So, you know, make sure that you follow me on X because I do post these charts from time to time on X. And I can go to X a lot quicker than I can come and bring it to you guys on YouTube. So that is my current situation with Ethereum. I am expecting higher. I am hopeful for higher. I don't know if I'm going to de-risk this. It depends on how price progresses. But for now, I'm thinking ETH got some legs. And, you know, like I said, the proof is in the pudding. Today, ETH is now up 2% on the day, while Bitcoin is up 0.2%. You know, it's been a very volatile day. Trump, I believe, was talking and whatever else. And so today was kind of wacky. But number one, you saw me enter my trade in my video earlier today that I posted. The Nexus they were with me the whole time. I was letting them know the whole time the Nexus is long on ETH. The Nexus is bullish on ETH. Things can change, so don't come at me if it doesn't play out. I'm not saying long now, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a move to the upside. And yeah, I mean, now you guys know what I'm doing, and not financial advice. If you like the content, make sure to hit the like button. If you loved it, hit the subscribe button with the notification bell so that you could be notified of my timely updates. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Happy trading, trade safe, be good, everybody. And be careful, man. Trump kind of fucked up the whole market. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, the market sucks ever since that stupid coin hit the market, but that's another story for another video. If you want to join the Nexus, the link for that is in the description down below. Take care.